Hello and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that knows that not everyone is the right fit, but somewhere out there is the perfect fit. I am your host, Patrick Keiser. Today, we are continuing our 10-part series on the book Duct Tape Marketing by John Jantsch, a book that has become a cornerstone for small business owners who want practical, repeatable strategies to help them grow. In episode 1, we laid the foundation with the marketing hourglass, the idea that customer relationships don't stop at the sale, but expand into trust, repeat business, and then referrals. If you haven't listened to that one yet, please go back and check it out. It sets the stage for everything else that we're going to cover over the next 9 episodes in this series. This week, we're diving into one of the most counterintuitive but important ideas in all of marketing, the concept of your perfect customer. Jantsch says that when you try to be all things to everyone, you end up being nothing to anyone. And that's true on Main Street too. Too often I hear retailers say, well, everyone's my customer. And while that sounds nice in theory, in practice, it leads to wasted marketing dollars and muddled messaging and a store that just doesn't stand out. So today, we'll talk about why defining your ideal customer is the foundation of smart marketing, how to create a customer profile that actually helps, and what independent retailers can do this week to start narrowing their focus without losing business. So put aside everything else, home in on what's important, and explore this new paradigm. It's book club time. Let's start with the myth that everyone is your customer. I've heard this countless times when I meet shop owners. They'll say, our store is for everybody. We welcome everyone in our community. And that's true in spirit. You don't want to turn people away. But in practice, when you market to everyone, your message gets so watered down that it connects with no one. Think about it this way. Imagine you're planning a big dinner. You could try and make a dish that everyone in town is going to love. But what would that look like? You'd strip out the spices, avoid anything too bold, you'd skip ingredients that some people dislike. By the end, you've got a, bland casserole that's edible, but honestly just forgettable. But if you instead said, this dinner is for my best friends who love spicy food, then suddenly your dish has personality. It might not be for everyone, but for those it is for, it's unforgettable. Jantsch puts it like this. The greatest opportunity in marketing today is to narrow your focus on an ideal client. Independent retailers live in crowded marketplaces, whether it's online or on Main Street. The way to stand out is not to try to attract everyone, but to become magnetic to a specific group. Here's another example. I was in a town in Iowa. They had 5 different clothing boutiques, all within 2 blocks of each other. Now, if all of them tried to sell the same general women's fashion to everyone, no one would stand out. But what I noticed was that each had carved out their own little niche. One targeted teens with trendy, low-cost outfits. Another specialized in professional attire for women in their 40s and 50s. Another focused on boho chic styles. Same category, different customers. Each one spoke directly to their ideal audience, and as a result, each had loyal followers. When you're tempted to say, everyone is my customer, remind yourself, clarity beats confusion, and clarity begins with narrowing your focus. So how do you figure out who your ideal customer actually is? Jantsch recommends creating an ideal customer profile, sometimes called an avatar or a persona. This isn't just about age and income, those do matter. It's about painting a full picture of who this person is and what they care about and why they choose to shop with you. So let's break this down into 4 parts. Part 1, demographics, the basics. Age, gender, income, occupation, education level, family size. For a Main Street boutique, that might be women from 28 to 45, upper to middle class income, married with young kids, something like that. But for you, figure out what is your perfect demographic. Part 2 is physiographics. This is where it gets interesting. Lifestyle, interests, values, motivations. Do they value sustainability? Do they care about supporting local artisans? Are they looking for convenience or uniqueness? All of this matters to who your customer is, what products that you're going to bring in, how you're going to market those things so that your ideal customer always thinks of you first when they want to go shopping. Part 3 is buying behavior. How often do they shop? Do they buy online or do they prefer in-store experiences? Do they respond better to discounts or do they value premium service? Again, all of this matters when you're thinking about who your customer is. How are you going to market to them? How are you going to present your store so that they will think of you? And then part 4 is pain points and problems. This is key. What problems do they have that your store solves? Maybe it's, I need affordable but stylish work clothes. Or I want to find meaningful gifts quickly. Here's how Jantsch frames it. The key to small business marketing is to understand who makes the ideal client and then build your entire business around attracting more people like them. For example, let's say you own a pet supply store. Your initial thought might be, everyone with a pet is my customer. But when you dig deeper, you realize your strongest and most profitable customers are the dog owners under 40 who treat their pets like family members. They buy premium food, stylish collars, and come in for toys regularly. Once you identify that group, you can shape your messaging, your store layout, and even your inventory around them. You might still sell cat food in this instance, but you're not designing your marketing around it. You're leaning into the customer who brings you the most value. And here's a bonus. Focusing on an ideal customer doesn't exclude the others. It just means that your message is clearer and more compelling to those more likely to love you. Everyone else, they can still buy, they just aren't the center of your bullseye. So how do you actually discover your perfect customer? There's a few methods for this. One would be to look at your best customers. Who spends the most? Who is shopping the most frequently within your store? Who tells their friends about you? Profile that person. They are going to be your roadmap. Once you've identified these customers, talk to them. Flatter them. Tell them, I want to find more people just like you. You are so important to my business and I want to have more things that appeal to you. So have those conversations. Ask, why do you shop here? What other stores do you shop at and do you like? What's frustrating about shopping other places? You're going to uncover gold in those conversations that you can use to help shape your store, answer pain points, and just create a better experience for that ideal customer. After you've done that, use data. I love the concept of art in science. We're talking to these people, we're identifying them, we're knowing what they want, but then we're also going to back it up with the science. Look at purchase history. What categories sell the most and at what times of the year? Segment by customer type and understand what you need to bring in at different points of time to really maximize your efforts. Method 4 is social listening. Pay attention to comments, tags, reviews. What do people highlight about your store? Is it your unique products? Is it your personal service, your atmosphere? Understand what they are looking for, what they're talking about, and lean into the aspects that you want to really move forward. And then look at community trends. Look at your own town. Is it aging or is it attracting young families? Are people moving in? Are they moving out? Your ideal customer may shift with demographics, and that's okay. It's okay to identify something and then 5 years later change with the times. To stay stagnant and say, this is my customer, this is the only person that I ever want to sell to, might be great in the short term, but it might be devastating to your business in the long run. When you combine these insights, patterns are going to emerge. And those patterns tell you who you need to target. So here's a quick story. I spoke with a gift shop owner who thought her primary customers were middle-aged women buying gifts for their friends. But when she actually looked at her sales, she found a big chunk came from men buying last-minute gifts for their wives. That insight allowed her to create a whole husband's corner in her store. Pre-wrapped gifts with easy labels, and in that area the sales jumped. Her marketing suddenly had a sharper edge. That's the power of defining your ideal customer. It takes the guesswork out of growth. So once you've identified your perfect customer, the next step is tailoring your messaging. Think about marketing as a conversation. If you know who you're talking to, the words come easier. For a young mom, emphasize convenience, affordability, and family-friendly experiences. For a style-conscious millennial, highlight uniqueness, sustainability, and Instagram-worthy products. Maybe for retirees, you're stressing reliability, comfort, and community connection. Jantsch says that if you can describe your ideal customer's problems better than they can, they'll automatically assume that you have the solution. And if you know someone has the solution for you, you're going to go there to shop. For independent retailers, this might mean creating window displays that show how your products solve a problem. It might mean writing Facebook posts that say, "Need a quick gift for a teacher? We've got you covered." Or creating events designed for your core customers, like a sip-and-shop night for working women, or DIY Saturdays for families, or something that just feels uniquely catered to that ideal customer. Speaking their language also means choosing the right channels. If your ideal customer is a 30-something's mom, TikTok or Instagram might be stronger than the local newspaper. If your ideal customer is retirees, a print ad in the town paper might still be gold. The point is this: when you know your perfect customer, you stop wasting money shouting into the void and you start having conversations that matter. So let's land this episode with 3 practical steps that you can take right now. I want you to identify your top 10 customers. Pull up sales records and list your 10 best customers. Write down everything that you know about them. That's the beginning of your ideal customer profile. When they come in, I want you to ask them 5 questions. Ask them, why do you shop here? What do you love most about this store? What would make your life easier? Where else do you shop? And how did you hear about us? And then test one message. Take one insight and build a simple marketing message around it for this week. For example, need a quick gift? We've got them pre-wrapped for you. See how people respond to that. Small steps add up. Remember Jantsch's wisdom: the key to marketing momentum is to narrow your focus and get specific. So that's it for episode 2 of our Duct Tape Marketing series. Today we talked about why everyone is not your market, how to define your ideal customer, and how to start speaking their language in ways that matter to you and make your store stand out. Over the next few episodes, we will continue building the marketing system piece by piece. Next week, we'll focus on differentiation and how to craft your talking logo so customers instantly know why they should shop with you. If you found this episode helpful, share it with another retailer who could use some clarity in their marketing. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, a quick review goes a long way. You can also find other resources from Heart on Main Street, our webinars, and other things at heartonmainstreet.org. Until next time, stay safe, shop local, and keep your heart on Main Street. This episode was written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Keiser, with a very special thanks to John Jantsch and his book, Duct Tape Marketing. For more information about Heart on Main Street, you can visit www.heartonmainstreet.org, and you can email us at contact@heartonmainstreet.org. Thanks. Bye.